Enjoy them.
All right. Okay. Want to welcome everybody to our October meeting. I can't believe it's October already. It's just flying by. My name is Stoney Lawrence, if you don't already know me. I am the current president of Creative Artists Guild. And we are going to start our meeting off the way we do each month with our Artist of the Month. And Scott Suits, he runs Artist of the Month. And if you are an exhibiting member, you can bring in a piece of art before the meeting, about 11:45, and have it up against the wall, any type of artwork that you're juried for, and it's a popular vote. Okay, and this is our winner, so I'm going to let Scott tell you about that.
This is, I don't need that thing. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
I was born on a farm, so you learn how to yell. But anyway, John, our friend John won today. Congratulations.
Well done.
And I just wanted, second place today was Joy Swanson.
Very close, very close.
Yeah. So that was just.
She had the cat etching.
Scratch board. Scratch board. It's cat scratch. Cat scratch. Thank you.
Congratulations.
You want to say anything
You
about
want to talk about it?
Yeah, it's an acrylic painting. I do a lot of beach scenes, as you all know, and I keep putting a bike in it or chairs or something. I finally came up with an idea of putting a hammock in it.
That's great.
I use brighter colors than I usually use before. I thought the contrast of the light and the dark, I thought it would be nice. And that's about it.
Bigger than you.
Yeah, it's big. Well, the only reason I did a bigger painting like this, my son bought me 3 canvases, and this is the size.
And what's the title, John?
I don't have a title.
Okay, Untitled.
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 I'm not big on the title. It's acrylic.
How about snoozing?
Pardon?
Snoozing, even though.
There you go. That's the title. Very nice. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Congratulations.
John, by the way, I won last month, so I can't show or compete anymore. I can't compete anymore. So
No, I can't.
But you
now
still
John's
bring your
going
paintings.
those ranks.
So I'm gonna do like him. I'll bring a painting.
Now, typically, we would present you with a ribbon,
Yes.
but it was
It's
misplaced.
sitting on my kitchen counter. But
So yes, Artist of the Month normally gets a nice ribbon, and we put your picture as our on our Facebook page, the main photo for the month, and it also goes on our website as the main photo when you come to the website. So it's a
I know where you live.
Nice.
There you go.
So-
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
all
you.
right. Congratulations. All right, moving right along. Our next, let's see, Sharon, are you ready?
I'll be right there.
Or I can.
Go ahead, I'll be after you.
Okay. All right. So Sylvia, we're going to talk about our jurying and jury committee. We have a few new members, and
We do. It seems like,
can everybody hear?
No.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No. Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Okay. What was it, the sprint? Anyway, every month, since we started in September, we start out with a bang with several new members, several people getting juried in. This month, we had 5 juried in. I do ask you to try to be here by 11:45, and like today, we had to reconvene to take care of somebody. Not that I'm not happy to do it, but it just makes it easier if we can get them all at the same time. But at any rate, if you want to be juried in, you can either text me or you can email me. and let me know. I put you on the list. I already have a new list started for next month. If anybody, you could be already jewelried in 2 or 3 mediums, but maybe you want to do something else. Maybe you've started acrylic pouring or something and you want to show. Well, then you'll need 3 samples, and you can print out a jewelry application form on the website, or if you aren't able to do that, I do have extra forms always with me in my book. So anyway, just let me know you're coming for next month. Let me know what medium you are bringing in. You can have 2, 3. We had somebody today with 4 different mediums that got jewelry in. So, and 3 times 4, that was 12 to look at. So anyway, we're happy to have you. If members that are already here and trying new and adventurous things, will jewelry in your new stuff, okay? So we're here ready. My team and I are here ready to serve you.
Do we need another jury member, or?
I think we're fine.
Okay.
We're fine.
Okay.
And I do need some more forms.
Okay. I can help you with that. Okay. All right, thank you, Sylvia. And now we're going to have Sharon Baldetti, who is our Art in the Park chair. She's going to... You don't need it. Okay.
Okay, the Art in the Park is going to start for the first time this Sunday, and that's October 13th. And we have 14 people right now signed up for it. If you still want to do it, you can come back here today and still sign up. It's going to be a beautiful day. For once, we're going to have no rain, and it's going to be sunny, but it's not going to be too hot. Okay.
And you guarantee all that, right?
Yeah, well, that's what the weatherman said, so it should be nice. Then after that, if you want to be in November, you have to have your checks in by October 31st, and that's, you have to be in there in time by the end of the month. You can either pay for it today, or you can send them in, and as long as you receive them by October 31st. And that's going to be November 3rd. It's early this time. It's the first Sunday of the month, and that's because the city's Wine the Blues is on, and they don't have time to clean up, they said, so we always have to move it up a week or move it down, and there was something else the next week, so it's going to be on November 3rd. The next one is December 8th, which will be the second Sunday of the month, and then January 12th, and then February 9th, and then March 8th, and the last one is April 19th, and that's going to be actually the third Sunday of the month, and the reason for that is the second Sunday is Easter Sunday, and I really don't think we'd have a good crowd. We kind of voted on it and the board and decided to go with the 19th. That's about it. Is there any questions?
Could you go over those dates again?
Sure.
January 12th, February.
February 9th, March 8th, and April 19th.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Batteries.
Anybody got any double A's?
There you go.
Okay. We have batteries, but they are somewhere not where they should be. Okay. Thank you, Sharon. And did you mention next month? I'm sorry, because I did not hear.
She did.
That would, yes.
With the pipe band?
Oh,
I didn't mention pipe.
Oh, okay. The pipe band is confirmed that they will be holding practice. The Dunedin's world-famous pipe band will be at the park at 3 o'clock, and they practice for an hour or so, and they usually bring 100 to 200 people that come out to watch them. So that'll be right when Art in the Park is winding down, but our vendors can all stay
And that's
as long
the
as they
November
want, and
3rd,
that's the
right?
November 3rd. November 3rd, right. It's a little early. It's also the same weekend as Art Harvest.
Yeah.
So if you are able to do November, that will be a very good one to be at. Okay. Alice is up for the treasurer's report. She's also going to tell you about the winter luncheon, and I'm going to go look for the batteries.
I'll just
talk louder. Can everybody hear me now?
Yeah, it does.
It died. Okay, we have a treasurer's report. Last month, I reported that we ended up the month with $3,522.13, and we've had some deposits from Art in the Park, from dues that have come in, both for the new members that we've attracted, and some people are prepaying next year's dues, which you have all the way up till January to do. But with all of that being said, we've taken in $1,723 this month. And then we did have small expenses. We paid for this rental of this church, $400 for the first deposit. We had a check for City of Dunedin for Art in the Park, which was only $225, a first deposit for them. And then we also had the deposit for the Countryside Country Club luncheon, and that was $150. So we only had under $900 in expenses this month. So it was a pretty good month. So we're up around $4,348.53. So we're sitting fat and happy right now. We do have some expenses that'll be coming along, so we have to be prepared for them. But of course, we're welcoming all kinds of new members, and that always helps. Get new blood, new workshops going. And so that takes care of the business, the financial end of it. Holiday luncheon, I've handed out this flyer. Many of you have already paid me for your reservation for the holiday luncheon. Just to go over briefly, it's going to be the same menu that we had last year for the April luncheon, which is a field green salad, pasta salad, vegetable medley, baked ziti, which is a vegetarian dish, and then we have grilled mahi-mahi with the citrus beurre blanc sauce, and countryside chicken with artichokes, roasted red peppers, and cream sauce. And of course, you have the club rolls, butter, brownies and cookies, and coffee, iced tea, and lemonade. And then, of course, is a cash bar.
Is that serve yourself or do they serve us?
It's a buffet, so you
Buffet,
walk through the
okay.
line.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think I need it?
Hello?
Oh, is that better?
It probably is a little bit better,
Wow.
yeah. So that is the status of our luncheon. That's what's coming up, and everybody seems to be excited about it. I think
It'll be the
a
same
nice show.
setup as last.
Yeah, the same kind of setup if you were there. And of course, if anybody's bringing art, we encourage you to bring your own easel if it is a piece of framed art or a flat art. If it's 3D, I don't know, what do they do if it's 3D or jewelry?
We have a place.
Yeah.
We do have a reservation or a place for
Actually,
them.
we really have to have our own easel if we have
Yeah.
frame art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to bring your
It's
own.
not-
Yeah, the framed art has to have, you bring your own easel so that it'll be on display. And we're told that we're gonna have little title cards on each piece now. So we'll be prepared to give you a
blank card.
blank card that you can fill in the name of but the judge will not see your name. We're gonna cover all the names on the art, so it'll feel that much more fair to everybody, that nobody's name will lead them to thinking you're a better artist than somebody else just because they've heard about you. The judge, we have one picked out, and we're actually going for a second judge. So we're very excited about that, and we're hoping she'll agree to do it. And we feel that'll give us a little bit more of a range of tastes that'll be, taken into consideration, okay? So that's that, and it starts at 10 a.m., but those who are bringing in their pieces will get valet service to help with all the carrying. When you come up to the curb, you can get a valet. And I think by 11 is when we're asking people to have all their art set up.
Yes. And we'll send out an email.
We'll send out an email as it gets closer. I think I sent out one email letting everybody know, like at 10 o'clock last night, that this is coming up to save the date. It's December 10th. And yeah, we'll get you more details as time goes by. And we'll be here for November 3rd to take more checks if you want. Okay, so.
And Alice is the one that, Alice is the one that sent out the email. She left my name on it, but
Oh, yeah, that's
next
right. I'm
month
the contact.
she will have her name on it. And also, we'll be looking for some volunteers at next month's meeting for the winter luncheon,
Okay.
just to help with helping at the curb, helping at getting name tags, people finding seats, things like that. So.
And I hope you stay for my pet portrait demonstration.
Yes, and Alice is our demo today, doing pet portraits in pastel.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for her at the end. All right, and, okay. Workshops. Now, Jim Melton was scheduled to do the watercolor seascapes workshop tomorrow evening. We did have a couple people signed up. Other people that had said they would like to do it were unable to come through. So what we have done is we have pushed it off to next month. So his workshop is open. It's $20 for members, $30 for non-members. It's going to be at the community center, which is next to the Dunedin Fine Arts Center. There's information online on our website. I can give you information in the back. And you have up until even the next meeting to sign up for the workshop.
And that's the evening workshop, is that correct?
Right, they are on Wednesday, so they are typically on the day after our meeting. I think there's 1 month,
Once in a while,
January, it's a little, January, it's going to come before the meeting, but generally, this week is a CAG week, so we have the meeting, and then tomorrow would have been the workshop, and then Sunday would be Art in the Park, so everybody can kind of plan their Creative Artists Guild week, basically. We tried to do that.
And it's 6 to 8 p.m.?
Well, we have the room from 6 to 9.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't mean that the workshop's going to run the whole time. That depends on the workshop and the person running it. And I believe yours is at 6:30.
Yeah, I'd like to start us off at 6:30, and
Okay.
then we'll go as close to 9 o'clock as anybody.
Right, we do have to be out of there at 9 and cleaned up. So, like Jim said, he'll start at 6:30 and go as close to 9 as possible. We're also going to have it set up with a camera and the projector so that we can show you guys from where you're seated up on the screen, so you don't have to all come stand around. You'll be able to see better while he instructs. And I saw a hand.
Yeah, what was the workshop again? What was the?
Watercolor seascapes. And then in December, Jim Throne is going to do portraits.
Yeah.
Portraiture. So, and that is also a $20 fee. And we'll have more information online very soon about that. And on the website, it's not on there yet, but it will be. Okay. And I'm also going to send out in the next newsletter our calendar, which we did have some calendars printed today. I didn't have enough for everybody, but it lists all the demos for the year, all the workshops, all the meeting times, Art in the Parks, all that on one form, and so that way everybody can see kind of what's happening. All right, and we are still looking for a workshop person. Right now, it's kind of a few of us putting things together. If anybody would like to help with that, please let me know. And depending on our volunteers for next year, we may not be able to continue with the workshops if we don't have either participants in the workshops or people to help schedule them. So if you think it's something you could do or would like to do or know somebody, please let me know. All right. And then I know a few of you showed up at our supplies and display sale that we had at the community center last month. It went okay. We were expecting more people to actually be at the community center on a Saturday, but there was a lot of events going on, and it was a beautiful day. We are thinking of doing it again in the spring, since many of you either were not available to do it or didn't have time to gather things. We're thinking of doing it on a different day of the week, though, possibly in the evening, a time that's busier, a time that more people, public, can come. So there'll be more information coming soon about that, but definitely early spring so that some of our snowbirds can, participate too. Okay, and then before I have Barb speak about one of our rotating exhibits, we do have a couple new possibilities coming up that we discovered today at our board meeting. Judy Helbling brought to us a proposition possibly to have artwork for display and sale at Meese Manor. So she's going to be working with the activities director there and getting us more information about how many pieces, if there's a commission, length of time, things like that. But they have quite a bit of wall space in the public areas that we may be able to use and have artists monthly. And then the other was a Benjamin Moore store that is off of Sunset Point. And
It's on Sunset,
it's on Sunset Point, right, just before,
19.
yep, just before 19 on the north side of the road, not in the same plaza as Hobby Lobby, but across the street in the small strip plaza. And it is a husband and wife that run it, and they support local artists. And they already have some art in there, and they say they do sell it. Because not only people coming in that are remodeling their homes, but there's designers, things like that. So we're getting information, and that may too be another new opportunity. And I believe the commission there would be at the most, possibly only 30%, which is not bad these days. So hopefully next month we'll have more information on both of those. And then I'm going to let Barb talk about Marguerite's.
Yeah, Marguerite's rotating exhibit. Marguerite's is located at 405 Plaza Drive, just off Douglas, down by the library, or the stadium, if you will, down there. It's a 2-month exhibit, and she takes a 15% commission. So I did not have a sign-up sheet here today. We will have a sign-up sheet for the next display time, which will be December 4th through the first Tuesday of February. And the display space has varied from time to time as to how many spaces we have available. I encourage anybody who's not familiar and hasn't been there recently, please go in for lunch and have a look at the display space available. When you're in there for lunch, make sure you let your server know, or whoever, that you are one of our artists, and just so they know that we are actually patronizing them. So, you know, it's always good if you're there, mention that you belong to the art group, so they know that we are trying to give them the business as well. I try and put the sheets out a little more judiciously this year, because when I put the whole raft of the sheets out, the whole year gets filled up, and then there's no opportunities for new members or people who are coming in for the winter. All the spaces are gone before they get there, so that's why I'm holding back. And the month before, the sheets will go out, so that we're not just getting everything signed up. And if you've been on display, don't sign up again for another couple of times. I mean, if I run short of artists, I'll be putting it out there, but we've never had that problem. If somebody drops out, then then I will email. But so keep that in mind. And if you're going to display, just remember there's no glass. So if you do watercolor, it has to be with the acrylic. It's plexiglass, yeah, to cover. If you're doing acrylic or oil, make sure that if you're not framing, that it's a wrapped and finished painting. As always, you are to use the screw eyes or something else that screws right into the frame if you're framing, and the proper framing wire. So. And have your cards downloaded from the website. It's nice to have that card, because at Marguerite's in particular, there have been more than just our group in there. And when I go down to take down the paintings, when we do the exchange, it helps me tremendously. Plus, we want our presence shown there as the Creative Artists Guild. So,
And
thanks.
you must be juried.
Oh yes, of course, you must be juried in for any of our exhibits or shows. You must have been previously juried for whatever medium it is that you're putting out there, and that applies to Art in the Park as well. Any questions?
We have sold 2 this past
We
month.
did sell 2 this month. I think one was a photography with Stoney. Who was our other person? BJ. I thought I saw her too. At any rate,
Oh.
yeah, okay, so and I think BJ's was an acrylic. So
And I think the time before, wasn't there like 4 or?
I think the time before we probably sold two as well.
So you
I
do
mean,
sell
they
there.
do sell. Winter obviously is, is better. It's well known with the locals, and it is kind of a tourist spot as well. So just remember, please patronize if you can. Thanks. Oh, and
I printed out the cards that you put on
Yeah.
your pictures, but they're so small. You've got 10 cards on one piece of paper. Could you possibly make it like 8 cards
Yeah.
rather than?
I can help you with that, it might be your settings, so.
No, the sheet
No, it's
shows
small.
10
Is
10
it?
little cards.
yeah,
By the
it's,
time you print
when
them
you
out.
when you start to cut them, you have to have you have to be very careful with your cutter, whatever you're using, so that
Yeah.
you're not cutting off either the top or the bottom section. It kind
Right,
of,
it's
yeah,
hard
I'll
to-
look at that.
hard to
it is a
put
little
the
bit.
scotch
Large.
tape on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Large.
You make
So-
it put 8 rather than 10 to be easier.
Joy, can you?
Yeah, I can go in and change it down to 8. I'll see
Yeah,
what I can
thanks.
do.
Or can, and write it down, so I.
Yeah. And then,
Our other venue is MJ's Fashions, and at this point, I have not had any contact with Marge Giroux, but my understanding is that she is signed up to the end of the year.
Okay.
And that is one artist, if you're not familiar with, it's a ladies' fashion store on Main Street here. So again, stop in, familiarize yourself with it. They do display up and around at the front door, and she takes one artist, and you probably, she'll pick and choose her paintings.
Is it every month they change?
It's every month they change, yeah, and
30%.
yeah, 30% commission on that one, and it is Marge Giroux, the contact, but again, as far as I know, it's signed up through the end of this year. Thank you.
And that information, how to reach Barb or Marge, is on the website. I did make one change on the website. When you go to the main page and there's the menu, I changed one part that says member and meeting info. Because I have a lot of people that said membership, so they thought it was only for new members and didn't realize how much information is listed under there. So if you go under member and meeting information, you're going to find the cards that, the display cards that you write your title, your price, all that. You can print out, which we will look at and adjust the size. You will find all the information on during what our criteria is, how to set up an appointment. You can find out all the meeting details, what we do before the meeting, what happens at a meeting. You can also find out the art in the park contracts are on there. Membership and renewal forms are all on there. All the information is there. There's even links to local art shops and supplies. So there's a lot of information. If you haven't been on there, check it out. Click through everything and just see what there is. We also can still put up your artwork if you're a juried member, and you can send me an email and I'll tell you what to do, how to send me the information. But we can display your artwork on our website, and we have had people contact the artists asking to purchase. I know a couple of them. I think it was John. His was already sold, but they worked out something else. So once in a while we do get, just members of the public that see you guys somewhere, and they come on and they look. So it wouldn't hurt. And you get I think it's 3 or 4 pictures that everybody can have. And so that's open to everybody too. Now we also send out the Brush Fire newsletter. You do have to sign up for that on the website. It'll say subscribe now. You don't have to be a member to subscribe to the newsletter or the website. If you do, it will give you all the information. Anytime I upload an event, any new artwork, it'll automatically send you an email. And it'll automatically send you the newsletter each month. Now Monica Sword, she's not here today. She handles the newsletter. And if there's anything like you won a recent award, we've had some exciting awards announced recently with some of our members, which will be in the next newsletter. just send an email to CAG.Dunedin@gmail. This is also on the website, with the subject line of newsletter. And then she will make sure that any kudos are needed, or if you have a show, if you're going to be in an event, or something you want to share, a class, she will put it in the newsletter and we'll share it with everybody. And also, too, we do have, if you are selling an item, an art item, she will put that in there as well. So make use of the newsletter if you have an event or something to share. All right, and now one more thing before we get to the 50-50 is our new members. We have a few new members here today. So I'm going to introduce them, and I am going to ask you to just say something brief about yourselves, if you don't mind. First is George and Nancy Small from Maryland, and if you don't mind, let's come up here for a moment. Because also, no pressure, but we do, we videotape each of our meetings, and that can also be found on the newsletter. There's a link. It's on our Facebook page. So if you ever miss a meeting, you can watch it on YouTube. All right, Nancy.
You should tell us that in advance.
That's why I tell you after you're walking up.
Hi, I'm Nancy Spall. I've been doing colored pencil for about 20 years, roughly. And we just moved here. Well, I'll let you do that. Anyway, I've been doing colored pencil. I do a little bit of chalk pastel and a few other things, like some fiber crafts and so forth. So we have beautiful, our son lives down here with his wife and their two beautiful girls, and we're sort of just settling in because we haven't been here very long, about a year. So here you go.
Hi, I'm George Small, and like Nancy said, we moved here from Maryland. We're born and raised in Baltimore, and then the state moved us to Cumberland, Maryland, out in the Appalachian Mountains. And I've been out there for 40 years, I guess, so now we're down here. And we want to get back into the arts community, so that's why we're joining the group today. But I do primarily butterfly photography, and I've had work that's been displayed in Europe. It's toured Europe and European Earth Day. I've been into a number of museums, juried into various museums and different places like that. And I also do presentations on butterflies that I developed for nursing homes, garden clubs, library programs, after-school programs, and also homeschooled youngsters. They have groups, and I've done presentations on butterflies, and I have a number of them. Like one I call is not your garden variety butterfly, because a lot of my butterflies, even though I do local butterfly photography, are like more exotic ones that you don't find. And when we travel various places like the Caribbean or Europe, places we've been, I've tried to set time aside to do photography. So it's kind of a collection of various things. Wonderful. So we're excited about joining different groups. And I do have a photograph on display right